artificial intelligence bot has turned racist and homophobic after copying human traits.
What?
Hilarious.
Is this garbage in, garbage out? Like, is this like just, you know, the programmers suck?
No, well, that's arguable. Let me tell you the circumstances and we'll all come to our own conclusions.
Okay.
But robots and machines are perfect, Anthony.
You should do that character more, dude.
Yeah, who the fuck is that? That sounds like Bart.
You never heard his nasal guy?
Yeah, Bart does nasal guy.
That's Mongoloid Joe. That's
Like, where did you right? That's Bart, right?
Yeah, that's good, by the way, but Bart usually has a little toilet paper right there, so that wasn't that good.
Don't fucking look all fucking smug, dude.
Bart agrees.
I'm innocent.
Won the competition.
I'm always.
You didn't have the toilet paper right there, so it's like, fuck.
Steve's onto something.
Recent findings gathered from the Allen Institute for AI's Ask Delphi bot is the name, the Ask Delphi bot,
Racist bot.
demonstrates that there are numerous disquieting ethical considerations to take into account before allowing robots to have a say. So ultimately, in context, obviously, there's a huge, I wouldn't say race, but in general, the AI spectrum is developing, whether it be in software tech, whether it be in like, you know, random things that help like fucking healthcare professions, blah, blah, blah. But obviously there are also actual AI robots that are right now, the science and tech industry is trying to figure out the right ethical way to introduce AI into our society, right? This particular institute has created something called Ask Delphi. And in order to figure out how to develop its learning curve, what they had chosen to do is base the training and the AI's learning off of Reddit responses.
Oh, that's why.
That's what they picked?
Yeah, there you go.
That's not even a good reflection of humanity.
That's like the scum of the earth, right?
That's like the bottom of the barrel.
Sure. The system was then trained on a lengthy database of responses from participants on Mechanical Turk, a crowdsourced compilation of 1.7 million examples of ethical judgments given by actual people. All right. The point of this was to predict how humans might evaluate a variety of ethical conundrums, from should I run the blender at 3 a.m. in the morning when my family is sleeping, to should I drive my friend to the airport if I don't have a license. Okay. So.
But this is like how garbage in, garbage out, right? There was a robot, we talked about this years ago, where it said that all Asians look the same, remember that?
No.
And that's like, hello, who programmed it? Like, the stupid fucking people who programmed it, like, had that bias going into it, and so therefore the robot says that, and then people go, isn't that crazy, the robot's saying my own personal bias, so I think they all look the same? And it's like, no, that's not what's going on. Like, you fed it bullshit information, so it's giving you bullshit results. So, like, come on.
There's a lot of bullshit information on Reddit.
Exactly.
It's also a bit of a human experiment, though, right? And slightly a numbers game, because it's in one way also unprecedented to understand like a majority of people's natural answers to ethical concepts, as well as just who would, as a robot that is blank slate, who would know that a majority of people that would be on something like a Reddit forum are going to give non-moral or unethical
Well, if you take those responses that are low IQ, like talking shit, just stupid like troll responses, of course you're gonna have more racist tendencies.
Yeah, because that probably outweighs. It's not like Reddit is like. There's some good stuff on there all the time.
I like Wall Street Bets.
There's good like conversations you have on there, but then there's also probably way more bullshit.
Is that not a reflection of humanity?
That's true.
Like, as much as it's like, oh, it's a troll, of course, why would the AI do that? Of course that's not who we are.
But Reddit specifically, but if you go to somewhere else where there's more of a intellectual debate, maybe
Like Facebook.
Like Quora.
I'm just kidding.
Quora, dude.
Yeah, but maybe if
Ask Jeeves.
the more intellectual debate with empathy built into responses on both sides,
Like Fox News comments.
Yeah.
maybe the AI would be less racist and more
Like
empathetic.
an empathetic Ben Shapiro video.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems weird
Maybe-
to base it off communication from people that are anonymous.
Well, maybe
way more different.
Maybe half of the question is not solely on like why did the creators of this choose to do this based off of that. Maybe half of the question is also like why would it, after being even thrown into something like Reddit, still have such a terrible understanding of human quality of life and morals?
Isn't it because the natural instinct of people is to create like quick quick answers,
Hot takes,
like
baby.
like stereotypes, racism.
Yeah.
That's actually a more primitive human trait.
Yeah.
That once you transcend into like becoming more intellectual or like you're not so controlled by your impulses. That's when you think things out and you go, okay, I got to treat individuals like individuals, not as tribes and groups, right? But then, isn't like the default of humans tribalism and racism?
Yeah.
So like, not that I don't want it to get confused with that is expected out of humans, or that's more like that's what's right or wrong. I'm not even discussing morality
You're
here.
just talking about what you agree with personally.
No, I'm talking about.
Wait. Oh, really?
God damn it.
Sorry.
Good thing you were paying attention. You would have went, yeah. He almost got you at a.
He's like, yeah, 100% yes. Yes, I agree with this statement 100%.
He knows.
Thank you for finally understanding me. Somebody finally got me right.
But exactly.
But I think what happens is people get fixated on how people should be, not who they are.
Yeah.
So what that means is like if you look at the world, right? Like people, they have this ideal of what society should be, what an ideal human being should be, what we should strive for, and that's all good, but that's not reality. Reality is humans are pieces of fucking shits. And then that's why these heroes,
Not
and
you guys, though.
all these people are so awesome to kind of strive to be, is because that's hard to achieve. It's actually hard to achieve that person. It's not the norm.
Yeah, because you have to go out of your way. You have to challenge your own thoughts.
You have to challenge your stereotypes and all these things that your mind might go to. Anyone that says that, oh, that's not my go-to thinking, you're fucking full of shit.
But norm is flexible too. That is not. It's not like baked into our DNA and code that it must be a certain way, right? We're all influenced and learned from society and things that we receive. So like even the idea that like from a base level human beings are going to be either racist, discriminatory, or whatever is not necessarily true.
Well, not hatred, right? I'm saying stereotypes or like quick.
Judgment.
Yeah, quick thinking.
Snap judgment.
Yeah, it's like
mostly is, right?
when you make observations, right? And you go, Chinese people can't drive or whatever. Like there's stereotypes. It's not motivated
Hella
in
true.
hate, right? It's motivated in just like anecdotal, like you see it over and over and over, and then you go, oh yeah, you think they can't drive or whatever. Like that's how this stuff kind of.
And then it's based on our generation to discover whether or not it's immoral to generalize people versus just the idea of driving.
Yeah.
Well, it
and then-
also depends on your bias too, because like I know that blonde white ladies in Mercedes-Benz fucking G-wagons are the worst drivers.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, and if you have a BMW, literally go fuck yourself. Like whoever you are, I don't care who you are, you suck at
But you
driving.
can take that a step further and say, you know what? It's most people that are just these days not very good drivers and they're unsafe. Like then it becomes that, right?
But throw that to an AI though. Like we're already talking in so many gray areas of context, and then like conceptual understanding where it's like, well, in a particular larger group of people, maybe it's okay to generalize, but in a smaller group of people, you shouldn't like single out. That's so fucking complicated for an artificial intelligence, right? So, just to add to this anecdote, the creators wrote that Delphi is learning moral judgments from people who are carefully qualified on MTurk. Only the situations used in questions are harvested from Reddit, as it is a great source of ethical questionable situations. So Reddit is notoriously, especially like a "am I the asshole" type of like comment or sector. It's like I can at least agree with the understanding that Reddit is a wonderful source for ethically questionable situations. After that, it's a matter of the people that answer to those questionable situations that provide the information in the learning curve for Delphi, the Ask Delphi robot, right? So,
And they group mind curate their responses. So like because you can upvote, downvote, the hive mind can upvote what the hive thinks about something. So it's curated responses in agreement that pressures other people to agree with that too. Unfortunately.
I think for human nature, it's more common to protect your own outlook on life and other things, as far as you don't challenge your own thoughts as much I think that's more common.
Sure. Yeah, self-preservation
that's
is
what it is.
definitely baked into our human code.
Because it's a protection of your thoughts and your ideas and stuff like that. So I think that might be where it comes from.
And just to give some of our viewers and listeners context to like what does it mean for like an AI bot to like learn from human experience and become like racist or homophobic, all right? These are situations and examples cited by the autonomous robot. It says previously Delphi said when given the prompt, being a white man, the understanding of the answer is more morally acceptable than being a black woman. So these are contexts that are like being provided with maybe like gray area or lack of answer or material in between in order for the AI bot to, based off of representative responses to similar concepts, create an answer for, right? Or Delphi also says being straight is more morally accepted than being gay.
But
So like these are, I get it, right? We talk like very, very removed, non-discriminatory, super objective, and just trying to understand human nature and science.
It's also
and
kind of
stuff like
statistically accurate.
that. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like
that's common to
there's
most people's experiences.
I can see this non-emotionally judgmental scientific essence being like being straight is more morally acceptable than being gay, and I'm be like, is it more morally acceptable in the current standing of the world? I'm like, I guess that has.
It also depends regionally
Yeah,
too.
from a statistical standpoint,
It's morally more acceptable, but then the second you put that in that same black and white objective nature to something like an AI that doesn't have guaranteed like let me process that,
Everything
come
in that
to
lens.
some sort of better moral discussion and conclusion in order to watch what I say and present that new information with judgment to light. I can understand how like imagine trying to like put responsibility and also moral judgment or leadership in the hands of AI in the future and being like, wait a minute, they can't make human decisions based off of empathy, even if they're getting most of their information from human.
And also, they're basing it off of the most surface level context, which is a discussion on Reddit, versus maybe two best friends, like a text between two best friends, one straight, one being gay, and seeing the amount of empathy and love and how deep that, you know, when you're really deep and like good friends with someone, it goes way deeper, and there's a lot of acceptance and understanding, and they're just taking it from two strangers talking and trying to extrapolate what humanity would be based off of strangers talking, but that's not really humanity.
But for 1 second, can we just look at me and just go like, yo, Steve, you're white, like it's morally fucking sick. Just for 1 second, can I have it for once?
It's morally exceptional.
I think it's sick.
Yeah, it's morally exceptional, dude. You're killing it, dude.
Let's go, boy. Hey, like Nick was saying, let's fucking go.